Okay, we got your boy Nakey Jakey with Bethesda's game design was outdated a decade ago. Oh baby,
I have made not one,
you got the
but
ball.
two separate videos claiming that Blank's game design is outdated. And while I'm very proud of those videos, and I pretty confidently stand by those critiques, I wasn't planning on ever using the same outdated title again because I just didn't want it to become this gross YouTuber-y series where I'm just the outdated guy.
What is up, gamers? Welcome back to part 30.
Oh yeah, that intro is outdated. What's up, game? That screams like early YouTube with the explosions and yeah.
39 of outdated stuff. Today, we're going to be taking a look at this expired banana on...
Let's see. Do I got anything outdated? I have this bowl that I haven't washed in like maybe 12 days. I haven't washed it. But the last time I ate out of it was maybe 2 days ago. And there's a wrapper in here, but I'll just throw that away later, and then I'll probably eat out of it again. So, yeah.
On my counter. If that ain't outdated, then you better call the dog catcher because it must be raining cats and dogs out here. But when thinking about the past 10 years of Bethesda Game Studios catalog, Fallout 4, Fallout 76, a billion more versions of Skyrim, and now...
Oh yeah, there's a ton of different... There's Skyrim on your smart fridge. There's Skyrim on the smart car. There's Skyrim on your smart watch. There's Skyrim on your smart TV. Didn't somebody make Skyrim on like a tiny 3D printed TV or some shit, and then Skyrim on the Nintendo, like a Game Boy? I'm pretty sure those were things.
Now, Starfield.
There is not a more succinct or accurate word to describe how I feel about these games. I have personally made things that some people did not like and criticized, and that's great. Honestly, that's fine.
That's okay, though.
Exactly how it should be. Why am I saying that right now?
Just to say that I know what it feels like. I want to make it clear that I have a lot of respect and appreciation for the hardworking individual devs that crunch 12-hour days to release AAA games on time that we all get to play.
Thank you for making video games, everyone who makes video games out.
I like this little preface that he's doing before the video starts, where he's like, this is the umbrella statement that I can qualify the rest of the shit that I'm about to say. So I'm going to say all the nice stuff in the beginning. So that way, from here on out, in the next, I don't know, 30 plus minutes, he's probably just going to shit on Bethesda. Same.
Here in the prairie.
So I promise I don't mean to be hyperbolic or dramatic just for the sake of it when I say I am truly baffled by Starfield. It is seriously shocking to see just how little this game attempts to improve or even successfully reuse the same formula and same Frankenstein game engine that Bethesda have been selling to their fans for well over a decade. I cannot understand.
I mean, shit, I can't even defend Starfield at all. I mean, the creation engine doesn't even have its own YouTube channel. Like, anytime I watch like an Unreal Tech demo or Unreal Engine, I look at it on the Unreal Engine channel. Unreal is so popular that it has its own YouTube channel. But if I look over here and look at Creation Engine, I don't think Creation Engine has its own YouTube channel. So it's got no clout. All right. It is a Frankenstein engine that is on the like 26th version, patch 19.538C. And it's just puttering along. It's going. And oh my God, is this a fucking artisan pad? I swear to God, if this is an artisan pad, dude, there's no shot. Like, I'm looking at mine and it's like, it kind of looks similar, dude. This is so dirty. And you got like the little G Pro wireless. It's probably not super light. Maybe it is. I don't know. I can't tell. And bro, if you are ever wondering, Nakey Jakey, If this is your actual setup, I don't think it is. But if you're actually wondering why you are bad at aiming, it's right here, dude. 100% is right here. At minimum, you can at least take the effort and take your mouse pad and like flip it so you have like at least a somewhat cleaner area if you don't even want to clean your pad. Or maybe you already turned it and this is like the new dirt that has accumulated. And holy Jesus. No wonder you don't like Fallout. It's hard to aim for you. I like the tiny skateboard. All right, I like it. But you want to talk about outdated, bro? Look at these VHSs. I don't even know what these are. Like, I see space, but after that, I don't know what anything else is. You want to talk about outdated right here? VHSs. Jesus.
Understand how this is the space adventure Todd Howard has dreamt of making for 25 years and cooked in the oven for 8.
But I wanted to try.
Well, yeah, because Starfield was essentially supposed to be just Skyrim in space. And then once the game came out and everybody played past, like, I don't know, an hour, everyone quickly realized that they tried, but they fell.
Really wanted to understand. I wanted to love this troubled game so badly.
Oh, yeah.
And I stayed
Oh, yeah. Well, because what was your last experience with a Bethesda game? Fallout 76? Was that like the latest game since Skyrim? Yeah, of course. When your last game came out like what, 8 to 10 plus years ago, you're hungry for some more. I mean, because Bethesda has a very I don't want to say specific, but it is kind of specific brand of action adventure RPG.
committed to this relationship for hours and hours and hours, ignoring every possible red flag that came my way. But I can't do it anymore, and I feel like I have to make this video just purely for my own sanity.
No, this one is for me, because this damn space game changed me.
Fucking space game. There's so many hangers. But it's a Bethesda game.
People often describe Bethesda games as Bethesda games, but what does that even mean? In 2011, I would...
Yeah, when I played a lot of these Bethesda games in the beginning, like when I was young, that phrase didn't mean anything to me because I was too young and stupid to realize what that meant. I was a shit eater. Whatever came out from Bethesda, I would just eat up, regardless of if it was good or bad, because I didn't have any concept of what good or bad looked like. I just got the popular game that everybody else got, and everybody else was like wooing over.
Have said open world action RPG where you could go anywhere, do anything, good or evil, knight or wizard, but you're definitely gonna be a sneak archer like every single time without fail.
Oh yeah, the stealth archer. What was that one meme with it was like some meme where it had all the races of Skyrim, but in each little description it was like, this race is known to live in this area of the world, and they are known for their they're highly skilled stealth archers. Then you go down to the next race and read that paragraph. This race lives in this part of the world, and they are known for their extremely stealthy stealth archers. And then you go to the next race, and this race is from that part of the world, and they are known for their highly elite stealth archers. Because stealth archery in Oblivion and Skyrim was just the best. When I first played Oblivion, what do you call it? When I first played Oblivion, I didn't really understand like how to level up, but like you know, when you do like the button check to like figure out what everything does, and then I'm just gonna jump around, because like in Oblivion you start out in like the cell, like the dungeon cell, if I recall correctly. So it's like, I do all the button checks, you know, I didn't have any weapons, so I like punched, and then I crouched, and then you see the eyeball pop up, and You jump a couple times, it's like, oh, your jump skill increased. It's like, oh shit, really? If I crouch and I go into stealth, do I gain stealth? Oh, yes, you do. Because in in Oblivion, you could just tilt the left stick forward and just shove your character into a corner and gain stealth levels just by shoving your left stick forward. You didn't have to move around or anything, as long as there was like an enemy within like the invisible stealth radius of your character. So by the time I left that cell, I was at stealth 100 when that game first came out. And then the rest of the game was just easy to play because you had like max stealth. And then it was the same thing for Skyrim. Kind of. For Skyrim, it was kind of the same, but the only difference was, instead of shoving your character in like a corner so they didn't have to move, you had to get within like the invisible stealth radius of your character for the little eyeball to pop up. And then what I did was I tied a string around my left thumbstick, pulled it forward, and then put a heavy thing on it so the thumbstick would be like that. It would be like just constantly tilting forward. And then I would tilt the right stick, either left or right. I don't remember which one I did. I tilted it left, and I tied a string around, the string around the controller, put it underneath the controller, and then set a heavy thing on that. So the one stick would be forward, and the other stick would be the other way. So that created a perfect little tight circle that I could just, as long as you line of sight something. For me, I did it in the bear cave in the beginning because I was like, okay, I need an enemy that is not moving, that's not patrolling or anything, for me to like try to test this out. Because up until that point, a lot of the enemies were like just walking around and shit, and there was no solid like line of sight. So the first chance I got was, oh shit, there's like a stalagmite thing there. There's a bear sleeping right there. I got to try this out. So I started doing it. I was like, oh shit, it's fucking working. Here we go again. I left that cave with stealth 100. Perfect. I was like, oh, I love these games. For the rest of the game, I had a stealth 100, and I was just cruising. Either like stealth daggers, stealth sword, stealth archer. Like a lot of times you open up with like stealth archer to try to headshot in a lot of these games, because the game does recognize headshots, and that was awesome. But once enough enemies like come strolling by, it's like, oh shit, it's time to whip out the daggers, because I think there was an ability where you could like pop up, go in sight, and then crouch back down, and then you'd like essentially just vanish from sight. And then as long as you got like some daggers, the bad guys will they'll stay there, but then eventually they'll start like wandering back and forth, and that's when you can get into some like backstabs. And yeah, that was super fun.
To me, it meant giant world with total player freedom to do what they wanted to do. Don't like someone? Shoot them in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Want someone's stuff? Sneak behind their waist. Want to climb that mountain? Hump it on the face. Fallout 3.
Yep, it was easy with the person, but it was easier with the horse. Because with the horse, you just go. The horse, it was damn near close to like 90 degrees. You could climb shit with the horse. Oh my God.
It was my first Betty game after convincing my dad that, nah, dude, it's not violent at all. You don't have to be violent. You could choose to be good and talk your way out of every situation.
Yeah, you could be the pacifist in that game. Yeah, totally.
It was total fucking bullcrap.
Yeah.
Yes, these games might be RPGs, but they heavily lean on the action part of action RPG.
You know what's funny is like, if he classifies like the Bethesda games as action RPGs, like when someone says ARPG to me, I think like the top down and like there's 6 abilities you can spam. I think like Diablo or PoE, but there's like I guess there's some sort of like misunderstanding or blending of the two, of like the action adventure RPG maybe. I don't know. I just thought that was funny.
Sometimes do quests non-violently? Definitely. But more often than not, your to-do list revolves around you killing people and things and spiders and ghouls, and there's usually not a whole lot of wiggle room around that part.
I fucking hated those goddamn spiders, dude. Bro, the spiders in the Elder Scrolls games, because they always shoot webs and slow you down. And then you're like, well, where the fuck is this goddamn spider? It's like always like somewhere behind you where you can't see, and they're just like, your screen like blurs and shakes a little bit because you just got shot by the web. It's like you're trying to turn and you can't. Well, I mean, well, you are, but you know, you're like going because the devs thought it was a good idea to not only slow the character's movement but also slow the character's turning speed. No, that's not a good idea.
A lot of the time, your choices are boiled down to, okay, so do you want to set him on fire first and then shoot him, or just do him raw? If you play Fallout New Vegas, made by Obsidian, those are some RPG-ass RPG choices.
Yeah.
I feel like the player has way more freedom to express themselves morally, ethically, whatever, in a given quest. But as much as I gush about New Vegas on this channel, there is something missing in this game when compared.
Bro, is this like one of those gigantic pads? Like, is this like an Asus pad, a Republic of Gamers pad? Is this one of those like big rectangles? I'll forgive you if it's one of those, but this honestly, it looks, it kind of has the same symbol as like an artisan pad, but then again, a lot of mouse pads have like some symbol down there. Bro, turn this shit like upside down. This is so dirty. Sheesh. When did you buy this? Like 10 years ago? Oh my God.
Compared to Fallout.
You know what's funny is like, you see all the hand gunk on the mouse pad, but this is like a new ass like hand pad, and that is seemingly clean. But no, not the mouse pad. Mouse pad stays dirty.
3. Atmosphere. I think Bethesda typically crushes that shit.
Even though New Vegas is a much better game mechanically, Betty's World felt a lot more engrossing to explore. Even if
yeah, so one of the reasons I think that this like atmosphere feels better is that whenever you get like a person or like a team of people to go in and handcraft all of these little areas, they can go in there under the mindset of, okay, if I'm the player, I want to see all these little tiny things of things that happened in the past. So like, you know, just walking down here, you know, there's, I mean, granted, it's a little crude or whatever, but, you know, this is all like rubble from, like, I don't know, some building that fell over. And there's these like created little chunks of building that fell off of this thing. This little like power pole is bent for some reason. There's rubble over here, probably from this building. There's like random tires here for some strange reason. I mean, this kind of looks like a city area, but the road is like really fucked. And I don't know if procedurally generated like AI is good enough to try to create like the atmosphere yet, you know? I mean, if it could, I'd be all for it. But as it is right now, if you're saying the atmosphere was good back in the old games, it's probably because, you know, it was a person getting in there by hand and creating all of these little areas to create an atmosphere, instead of like just a gigantic empty planet with nothing happening on it.
A lot of the supposed freedom promised to the player is kind of an illusion. You know, you can't actually kill anyone if they're an essential NPC for a quest
yeah, that's
line,
always a thing.
Take a nap on the floor. Still, Bethesda does a really great job at making you feel like you're on this grand adventure.
And the soundtracks, dude, oh my God, the Skyrim soundtrack alone might be up there with Chrono Trigger for like the greatest video game score
of all time. Kirby 64, Minesweeper 3D. What the fuck? There's other versions of Minesweeper besides just base Minesweeper. That's news to me. But yeah, Skyrim is like has one of the best soundtracks of all time. The whole what's it called? Fus Ro Da? The like intro, just the game intro. You just leave it on the start game screen, and you just leave that on. That's great atmosphere.
or ever made.
All of these songs make you feel like you're living inside of an ancient blade made of suede. Oh my God, I'm getting really fucking tired of always coming home to this dude saying some more stupid crap. Hi, I'm Jakey and Jakey, attorneys at law. Thanks to Opera GX for sponsoring this video. If your browser boring,
my God.
does it make you want to go outside?
The
Don't go
segues.
out there, there's wolves out there.
The
Opera
segues
GX is
are
a web
goated.
browser for gamers that you can customize. In the GX store located over here, you can get a variety of browser mods, such as my own, that have their own background music, keyboard sounds, opening and closing of tab sounds, theme and color color of the browser itself, unique wallpaper. You can also disable and enable specific mods in the
so much
mods menu
hands.
located on
Look
the
at the
sidebar.
hands.
Does your web browser keep you informed on all things gaming? It doesn't? What the hell? With the GX corner located over here, Opera GX will keep you up to date with free games, the best deals,
Look at all the hands,
hottest new
dude.
releases, and gaming news all in one convenient corner. Look at this deal. Look at this deal. Are you
Look at the
seeing
deal.
the deals?
I say
Look
the
at fucking
deals.
deals, Derek.
I
Don't worry
say
about
the
losing all your
deals.
stuff from those other browsers. Opera GX has a handy import tool to quickly take all of your shit like bookmarks and cookies and browsing history
no,
from
we
your
can't
old
have it taken by browsing
to your
history.
sexy new sports car
Or the
browser. And Opera
bookmarks.
GX also
But that's
works
a
with
no.
every Google
That's a hell
Chrome
no.
extension. If you download Opera GX using my special link located here or down below, you'll also have access to a unique feature where you'll see all of my 12 most recent videos in your GX corner, so you'll never miss it when I upload a new video in 3 months. Use this
Nice.
link located down below to download Opera GX today. Thanks again to Mr. GX for sponsoring this video. Now let's get on back to whatever the hell Super Nakio JKO 64
I need to get
is.
that
He's
Opera
counting
GX
stars.
shit.
Let's see if he counts all 120 of them. He probably didn't even do TikTok clock yet because he's a worthless piece of shit. But because Bethesda games are so unique and so dearly beloved by so many fans,
Yeah.
people often give them a free pass when it comes to
They do.
certain issues because, it's a Bethesda game.
It's a
What
Bethesda
are you gonna
game.
do? Issues such as dated melee combat and extremely dated gun combat, even for
Yeah, like looking back at the type of combat that is just in a lot of these games, it's like if I compare the gunplay to any Fallout game, to any like modern FPS, even Call of Duty, and Call of Duty is pretty dog shit. Even Call of Duty is way better than this, whatever this is. Like if I load on, like if I just start playing any Fallout game, the gunplay is just so stiff. There's like, I don't remember if there's like momentum in there or anything. The movement system sucks. I mean, granted, there's a lot of visual clutter in this game. Like, you already got like a big blood splotch there, but at least there's no like reticle sway, I think. You know, I didn't play Starfield, but yeah, the gunplay is in general pretty dog shit. And I think he's gonna be like, oh, you remember when the bullets come out of their mouths? Because I remember that was a thing.
For the time. Brain dead enemy AI. Clunky UIs that always have to be fixed
Oh, yeah.
with mods. Optimization and performance issues that always have to be fixed with mods.
Yep.
Enough bugs to fill a fucking terrarium that always have to be fixed with mods. If it
Oh yeah. I think the whole mod community for Bethesda, they encourage the developers to not come out with patches for the game, because on day one, people are already creating mods to fix the game. I think for Starfield, the most downloaded mod is just a UI mod to fix the HUD, to fix the user interface, because the base UI for Starfield is so dog shit. Jesus.
Any other AAA shooter had the same issues that Fallout 3 had, where the guns barely even functioned and cast bullets from their mouths like spells from a wizard's sleeve. And the game ran at 6 frames per second on the PS3 because, oops, you saved too many times.
Oh,
Don't
Jesus.
do that. People would riot. But because these issues
Yeah. But that's if you create too many different save files. If you just overlapped your save, you better hope that you don't come across like some game-breaking bug that either corrupts your file or anything like that. Because if that happens, then that save file is fucked. So, yeah, I could understand you having to do like not only the 3 auto-save files that automatically go in there, you have to do a manual save file as well. Because you just can't trust the autosaves. You just can't.
are part of a giant package, and the appeal is usually greater than a sum of its janky parts. People just kind of go,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do?
It's a Bethesda game.
It's a Bethesda game. Bro, that is like the most apologetic fanboy fuckery I have ever heard. If you have a favorite game and you're coming up with excuses to why it's bad, and then they come out with another game and it is also bad, you think the devs are going to give a shit about giving you like a better product than the last dog pile that they served you? No. Why? It's because you eat shit and you don't complain. If you keep eating shit, you're just gonna get served more shit. Don't be a shit eater.
Which, sure, maybe in 2008, maybe some of this stuff could be ignored. But it is not 2008 anymore.
No, it's not. Because when I played these games when I was really young, again, I had no concept of what was good and what was bad. Now that I am 34, I have a better concept of what is good and what is bad. And the shit that they could get away with back then, I don't think that they could get away with it now. I mean, they'll try. Oh, God. Like, I really hope they don't mess up Elder Scrolls 6, whatever that one is, with all that procedural generation stuff, like dungeons and whatnot. Oh, God. Please. I mean, yeah, like what's an acceptable amount of bugs for a Bethesda game to be released on day one? Like, what's an acceptable amount and what's like an unacceptable amount? I'm curious.
It is not even 2011, my brother.
In a post-Skyrim world where they have re-released that game so many times and it has sold over 60 million copies now, the whole, but it's a Bethesda game excuse is, you guessed it,
shit from a butt.
Fallout 4 was when I could no longer stay blind to Bethesda's strong reluctance to leave the caveman Stone Age prehistoric time.
Dude, you can still feel all of the typical creation jank underneath everything.
You still had to edit an INI file to change the...
I don't even know what any of this is, like with the INI files or whatever. But like, again, everybody seems, at least to me, everybody seems to love the Unreal Engine. And every time it comes out with like a new tech demo, everyone's like, oh my God, the tech demo was entirely based in the Unreal Engine. And I couldn't tell if it was real people or fake people. Oh my goodness, the light looks like light. The people look like people. It's photorealistic, finally. Like, oh my God. Anytime an Unreal update comes out, everybody knows about it because it's got its own YouTube channel. When's the last time the Creation YouTube channel got an update for Creation Engine, a 16.3521C? All right. I mean, I understand that whenever they're creating the newest game and they're using the Creation Engine, yes, it's the same Creation Engine, but it's not the same Creation Engine that was used back then. It's the most updated version of it. So I can understand that. And whenever you make a bug, you might have to, either fix the game or you got to fix the engine. So understandably, it is getting updated, but I've never really heard like seen any tech demos of the Creation Engine popping off or anything like that.
FOV or turn off mouse acceleration. The physics were still tied to the frame rate. The load times could still go on for an eternity. But hey, at least they made guns function like kind of actual guns this time, which should be the bare minimum for a first-person shooter in 2015. Meanwhile, Halo's 14 getting ready for her winter formal. Simple things for a shooter like swapping weapons or throwing grenades felt super unresponsive and wonky, like the game was constantly fighting you on every delayed input. And again, 2015.
Bro, the nade just hit the car door and then launched up, and I don't know where the explosion went. Did he have to like look up to look at it explode?
This wasn't like a long time ago, but man, I still played the shit out of this game.
Bro, I just can't get over it. Okay, so it's not even a big rectangle. It's like a what is this? Like a 400 by 400 or a 500 by 500? Please, dear God, don't tell me you paid like $60 for an artisan pad and this is how you treat it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Jesus.
And Fallout 4 is the most bare bones RPG. Where Fallout New Vegas went left toward old school traditional Fallout games, Fallout 4 was like, all right, so kind of like janky Minecraft but with guns, which turns out is actually pretty fun. The gameplay loop of exploring a detailed Bethesda world filled with cool stuff, getting loot and supplies.
Okay, here is what I'll say this about the exploration factor in Bethesda games. I don't think that I will be able now. I don't think I'll be able to enjoy the exploration factor in the next Skyrim 6 game because I've played so many Bethesda games before. I've already done that in Oblivion, in Skyrim, or any of the Fallouts. I have just gone around to just random houses, random dungeons, and every time, like back in the day, I would have been like, "Oh, I wonder if there's a new sword in here, a new weapon in here, a new bow. Maybe there's a piece of armor in here that's like just super goated. Maybe there's a like an end of a dragon word, or another piece of a dragon word at the end of a dungeon, or something, or maybe like there's just something cool that I can find in here." It's like, no, most of the time, there's not. There's not some like game breaking piece of loot or anything or nothing. There's nothing in these dungeons. I've been there. I've done that. The first time you see a piece of glass armor and you're like, "Oh, it's the green. It's so green." You know, it's like you pick it up and it's like, "Oh, it's solid. It's light. It's pretty good." And then you get a full set of it. And you're like, "Oh, I'm awesome. I'm all glass." And then you go into the next dungeon and it's the same exact armor. It's like, "Oh shit. Well, this is stupid. I mean, I guess I'll pick it up and sell it for like gold or some shit." Okay, sure. Yeah, but I honestly don't know if I'll be able to enjoy the exploration factor, because a lot of the times, you know, like I said, I would just wander off. You know, there's a ton of people that you know. What do you do after you leave the like little intro zone in like a Bethesda game? Oh, you just go off and do whatever. You ignore the story quest and you go off and do all the side quests, and then by the time you get back to the first part in the first part of the story, you're all like geared out of your mind. You're geared out of your teeth. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Supplies from fighting baddies and using VATs, using those supplies to upgrade your guns, working on your settlements with the janky-ass builder that also has to be fixed with mods. It was all pretty fun to me. Objectively, my critic brain is like, yeah, this game has a lot of flaws, and the dialogue system really sucks, and the perk tree sucks, and the role-playing options are basically non-existent. And the main story makes like zero sense if you stop and think about it, because if someone was searching for their kidnapped baby son, why would they stop and help a bunch of other families first and eat 100 rad roaches?
Oh,
but
Jesus.
That's
actually nightmare fuel, like right there. Oh God, like all the gigantic roaches. Oh Jesus.
My Bethesda brain is like, ooh boy, I better scrounge up some more.
Oh, I better hoard all of these random pieces of equipment because I might need them later. I'm gonna take all these little Nuka-Cola bottles. I'm gonna take all these random pieces and just hoard them all in my one fucking chest that, you know, every time I open it, it takes like 5 minutes to load up because there's so much dog shit in there that I don't even use. And another thing, for a lot of these Bethesda games, and I don't know if this is an actual thing that the developers do to like fuck with the players. I didn't come across this epiphany until like I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. Anytime you play any of these Bethesda games, there are always points where there will be just, you know, you walk up to a desk or like something on the ground and there's like a pile of coins. They're all separate. And you can pick them all up. And sometimes it'll be like a sack, like falling over. And there's like coins just like scattered around. Or maybe there'll be like a little pile of them. I am super curious to know if the devs purposely put those coins there to see if the player will actually waste their time and pick up every single coin, thinking that it is an investment. It is an investment picking up all of that shit, when you could just as easily pick up the super light +5 dagger just sitting there that's worth like, I don't know, 80 coins, or some random ass like pistol that's worth like 20 Nuka-Cola caps. Why would you waste your time? Like, why would you waste like a minute or two trying to precisely with a joystick, like, picking up all these stupid little coins in Nuka-Cola caps. This is an artificial lengthening of game time that I think the developers purposely do to see if the players are stupid enough to pick up. And I would know that because I did it. Every single time I'm looking on the top of the desk, I'm looking on the bottom of the desk, I'm opening all the drawers and shit to, oh my God, there's a coin, I better pick it up. Like, get out of here. Stop doing that. Jesus. Okay, that's it. I had to get that out of my chest.
Or these desk fans, even with all its jank, and there is a lot of jank in Fallout 4, like any area downtown just straight up doesn't run well at all. For what it was, I had fun with Fallout 4. But what it was unfortunately a very crystal clear sign that Bethesda...
Bro, it's so funny, like he brings the ball like just outside. And it's like halfway. It's like halfway down. You just sit out here on the ball. What are these people thinking? They're like looking through him at the window. He's got like a little tripod and he's doing it in the sun. So it's probably just a tripod and a camera and he's got like a little mic. They're just sitting there. Why is this guy out here on the ball again? Is he recording something? Is he advertising for the Bethesda Lutheran School? Bro, that's so crazy that this is like, it's Bethesda Lutheran School. This is actually insane. I just noticed that now. Bethesda. Oh, man.
Was falling behind the times harder than ever before. Also, I went to kindergarten and first grade here and walked home from school one day and realized we got out early because of 9/11.
Same.
I don't know why I'm talking about that right now.
I wish I could say
Yeah, that happened to me. When 9/11 happened for me, I was in middle school, I think. And yeah, we just went to study hall at some time, at like a wrong time, and everyone was just like, "Stay, watch the TV." And that happened, and then yeah, the thing happened, and then everybody went home. Yeah.
I was shocked when Fallout 76 turned out to be shit from a butt, but dude, I wasn't shocked at all.
Not trying to be on some cool guy shit, but the second I saw the reveal presentation and how it was gonna run on the same janky ass engine that barely manages to work as a single player game,
what the fuck?
And now it's gonna be multiplayer online, www.com type online, Todd, and I'll be a monkey's uncle. Oh, my sweet bimbo, you have returned. You all know this story. Game comes out, one of the worst launches ever. Terrarium is like 16 times the detail. Bethesda gets super scummy about refunds and then gets super scummy about pushing these overly priced microtransactions. Also cheaps out on the canvas bag that's supposed to be included in the...
What? There was a cheap ass canvas bag? Oh my God. They couldn't even like come out with a good like way to mass produce like a halfway decent canvas bag. And plus it's like a dirty ass box.
Collector's edition.
It was awful. Fallout 76 is like the poster child for taking advantage of a devout fan base and releasing a clearly unfinished, faulty product.
Well, no. 76 was just one of the first ones to do it. And there was probably a couple right before 76, but 76 was a real spike in notoriety for this dog shit on day one happening. So much so that many other games tried to top it. And that is how we have that one meme of it's a collage of all the developer apologies. And I don't know, there's like 15 apologies from random developers just on there. Of like, sorry, the game got released and it's dog shit on day one. Sorry, guys.
I'll see a lot of people online chalk up 76's failure to, well, it wasn't Todd and his main team that made the game. It was the B team, Bethesda Austin, but I'm pretty sure that's not the full story. According to several...
there's probably more detail that like he doesn't want to, release.
Anonymous devs that worked on...
What I would actually really like to see, and I don't know if they could actually do this, but like I would love to see like a documentary series of making a AAA game. Like imagine if GTA 5 came out randomly and just released something off like Netflix or whatever, and it's like, this is the GTA 5 docu-series on how we made GTA 5, and it took like how many years or whatever, and it was like year one, was like episode 1, year 2, episode 2. And it just goes through all the ups and downs and the cool stuff and the shitty stuff that happens in a game development cycle. And it would have to come from like some sort of unbiased source, because you can't make it look all like rainbows and unicorns, because everybody knows that's just not the case. Because if that was the case, then why the fuck does the phrase crunch time exist? But I would like to see that.
76, as quoted in this Kotaku article that you should check out, people from multiple Bethesda studios worked on this game. Senior staff from Fallout 4's team, staff taken away from the Starfield team, staff taken away from the Redfall team at Arcane, which, Jesus Christ, that's a whole thing on its own.
Oh yeah, that's a whole
Jiminy
thing.
Cricket and a jockstrap. 76, as described in this article, sounded like a massive live service black hole that no one wanted to touch, because the writing was all over the bug-covered walls that it was never going to end well. But in typical AAA game dev fashion, QA teams get treated like total shit, and upper management ignores issues raised and continue to force everyone to crunch toward this dev.
Oh yeah, what's the phrase? Minimum viable product. MVP, minimum viable product. You put in the least effort for the most minimum viable product that you can go out and say, yeah, this is a video game. Yeah.
Deadline they knew they were never gonna make. And yeah, Todd Howard may have not directed 76, but he's still listed as executive producer. And he's the one that went on the big stage and was like,
what was that? Like first name, second name? Yeah, you still got a big part to play.
This is the biggest fucking game we've ever made. It's 16 times awesome. You're all gonna nut. Yo, run that John Denver joint. And pre-orders go crazy, and everyone's hyped out of their minds. And then it comes out, and it's atrocious. And suddenly now Todd is all, yeah, we knew it wasn't gonna be like a high Metacritic score game.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? It sold really well. It's not about how it starts, it's about what it becomes. Thank you very much. Yo, run that John Denver joint.
Come on.
Run that John Denver joint. Oh, man. If only it worked like that. But, yeah, no, it does not actually work like that. Big developers' heads would like it to work like that. But, no, that's not how it works. You release a game on day one, and maybe you're warm on it, you know, and then the reviews start coming out a couple days later. Yeah, this game's bad. It was bad on day one, got worse on day two, and so on and so forth. And then, all of a sudden, that game you just bought, the game is bad forever to you as a player. You don't care what that game will become in a year or 2 or 3 or however long it takes for the game to be good. That doesn't matter, at least for the mass population of people that play games. Maybe it matters to like a contingency, like maybe a hardcore, like small fan base. But for most gamers, that doesn't matter. If a game is shit on day one, then it's going to be in their head. It's going to be shit for the rest of time, because gamers are not going to keep tabs on updates for a game that was dog shit. All right. They will keep tabs on updates about a game they like on day one. They will not for a game that they think is bad. That's just not how gamers operate. It's just not. That's how developer heads operate.
Sold really well. It's not about how it starts, it's about what it becomes. Thank you very much.
No.
Yo, run that John Denver joint.
Come on, man.
According to that same article, Todd was very adamant on the whole no NPCs feature, no matter how much the dev team pleaded that it was an insane choice for Bethesda. You know, the studio most closely associated with NPCs, but also...
Bro, if I can give a kudos to Bethesda, I think I've had more hours of entertainment watching NPC memes on YouTube for all the Bethesda games, most notably Oblivion. Yeah, like I've had hours of laughs just watching those memes. Oh my God, they're so good. So there is like some decent amount of laughs to be had and like entertainment value.
Also, maybe Todd isn't the main bad guy responsible, you know? Maybe he was just under a lot of pressure from big money investors at parent company ZeniMax to make a live service cash cow that would exploit fans and inevitably make a ton of money.
I don't know all the details,
Yeah.
but there's enough breadcrumbs to make it insane to me that someone along the food chain with authority, whether Todd or otherwise, didn't stop and adamantly scream, "Hey, let's maybe delay this game permanently."
But at the end of
At least delay it by like a year or two, or maybe 3.
the day, it doesn't really matter. Regardless of whose fault 76 was,
Yeah.
the damage was done and the pressure was on. After an underwhelming and outdated Fallout 4 and an underbaked and severely malnourished Fallout 76, Bethesda
Jesus.
really needed to reach for the Skyrim.
Yeah, Fallout 76, you took that shit out the oven, and it's still fucking raw.
Once again and dunk another classic into our laps. But Todd, he don't play basketball.
He plays chess.
He played chess. He plays the long game.
I was the kid. I was writing games when I was, 12, whatever. And the other
Bro, I swear to God, if this is an artisan pad, this does not look like an artisan pad. This looks like something else. But holy shit, dude. This is just, it's getting to me. Like, did you do the nail test at all? I think you did, like right here. And you don't even need to do the nail test. It's like, you got half the pad under the computer anyway. Just flip that sucker, dude. Please.
the kids in the block would say, I'm going to play quarterback for the Cowboys. And I'd be like, I'm going to make video games. And
Bro, when I was 12, I was not doing any of that. I don't even remember what I was doing at 12. I was busy getting hit in the ribs playing baseball. And then I was too scared to go at bat again because I didn't want to get hit in the ribs again. Because that shit hurts. Because there's not a lot of protection on your ribs. There's not a lot of meat. All right? And when that shit happens, you're like, I'm mentally scarred for a while. And then also, I think I was probably also engrossed in Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, some video games like Sega N64, and some other shit.
And everyone's going to play them. Like, you dork. Go back to the chess club. Who's laughing now? Yes, I was in the chess club.
It's hard
Yeah.
not to like Todd Howard. He has
Yeah.
this Michael Scott type charisma that's weirdly hard to resist.
And I find his story
Oh,
of
yeah.
repeatedly applying
Well, I don't know. Maybe he was being like trying to be genuine in that little interview.
to Bethesda only to be rejected over and over really inspiring.
Because once he got his leather jacket ass wearing through that door.
The nerd wearing who's wearing the leather jacket now? Stupid washed up sports bitch. Good luck with your CTE. I'm over here in the AC wearing a leather jacket making games. Who's the badass now? Ha!
Where he would direct Morrowind, executive produce Oblivion, direct both Fallout 3 and Skyrim. Love him or hate him, the man's resume speaks for itself. And good God, would you look at that jacket. For being
That's a
considered
good-ass jacket.
AAA, Bethesda is not a very big studio. Around 100 people made Skyrim, and they currently only
Oh my God, are you serious? I didn't know that. Bro, it took over 9,000 people to make D4. And you're telling me 100 made Skyrim? That's news. That's news to me.
employ like 420 people across all of their studios. For comparison, at least 1,000 people worked on GTA 5 before its release, and 6,000 different people have worked on it since, which is crazy to me considering how slow GTA Online still is.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, go.
On the one hand, I think it's really impressive that Bethesda is much smaller than other big-name studios because it means they must have some really powerful paladins over there casting.
I mean, because isn't Larian the creators of Baldur's Gate 3? How big is their team? Aren't they like slightly under 1,000? Aren't they around like 700, 800, 900 people? And that's like in this weird category of, yes, they're an indie studio, but they're like a pretty big indie studio. like by those standards, I mean, everybody really thinks. If you ask the question, is Bethesda an indie studio or a AAA? I would say most people probably say a AAA. But then if you ask them how many people that they are employed there, I don't think anybody would have said like 100. That is crazy.
Some serious buffs.
But also, when you're making that AAA money and your games continue to come out janky as shit,
maybe hire some more fucking people to make your games actually function properly when you sell them for $70.
One source from that same article said, Bethesda is a big company that thinks it's a small company with a mentality of, well, this worked in the 90s, so we're just going to keep doing it.
I mean, to some degree, I mean, when you're in there in the mix of it, creating, it's kind of hard to tell, like, if what you're doing is good or bad, because you interact with it every day. That newlywed phase of like, oh, look at this monster I just drew. Like, okay, let's put it in 3D, and then it's like, oh, you got to spend like a couple hours just creating it in 3D. Then okay, we got to animate it, and then it's like, by the time you go through all that, it's like, is it still cool? And I think they're probably working off the phrase like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type deal. Like, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. Probably something along those lines.
Yeah, after playing Starfield, that's definitely what it feels like. Boy, I'll tell you what, when I booted that sumbitch up, it was like...
Oh yeah, and that took me back to 2008. That's where that took me back to.
It's like seeing an X for the first time in 8 years, a poorly optimized X who struggles to have human-like facial expressions. Starfield isn't even just Skyrim again, but in space, which was always Todd's elevator pitch. No, it would be such an improvement if it was. But no, this is not a Bethesda game based on the definition the dumbass by the piano gave earlier. That signature Bethesda open-world exploration and sense of scale and freedom and that feeling of, ooh, there's something interesting around every corner.
Gone.
But Jarbo! There's like 1,000 planets. How can it get any more open world than that? Yeah, and you
yeah, it's 1,000 planets of nothing.
Want to know what you do on 99% of those 1,000 planets?
This. You walk and walk and walk and sprint and jump and jetpack jump and get really good at watching your O2 sprint meter go up and down and up and down. There is no rover to drive. There is no ship to fly. You just walk and walk and walk until you get to the most copy-pasted structure that you have already seen.
Copy-pasted in the sense that it was probably just procedurally generated there. But that's it. And if this was the first iteration of all the procedural generation shit, I don't know, maybe it was a hit or miss for some people. Some people like it, some people don't. God, if they do that again, but for dungeons in the next Skyrim, please put like more variety in there. God. Oh my God, it's my childhood you're fucking with.
Bunch of times.
Starfield is the exploration equivalent of holding the Player 2 controller that isn't actually plugged in. It is the illusion of planetary exploration duct taped together by 1,000 loading screens and a strong desire to waste so much of your time.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's talk about...
You know what was funny? It's like in D4, like the artificial inflation of game time happened through like, you know, you have to ride to each dungeon, or it took 5 seconds to export the dungeon, and then you have to go through the loop of going to the dungeon, completing the dungeon, then going back to town, and then sorting through all your gear with your eyes to say if like all the stats are there. And then, you know, there's this like weird artificial game loop of like dungeon, town, maybe you get an upgrade, dungeon, town. And it's like they figured out like little things, like you can't like mount in town, or you can't like sprint in town or whatever on your mount to like make shit happen faster. I really hope they don't do that in the next installment of, what do you call it? Oblivion, or not Oblivion, Sky, no, not Sky. Elder Scrolls. I really hope they don't do that. Like, just nickel and dime you for every second, every minute of your time playing the game. Oh, God.
Fast travel. Can you say fast travel? Fast travel. Can you say loading screen? Loading screen. Loading screen. Loading screen before fast travel? After fast travel, loading screen. Fast traveling
God.
to complete a quest. Fast traveling to start a quest. That's so silly. Loading screen. Peekaboo, loading screen. Can you say fast travel? Wait.
Bro, it's like all this like I'm not against fast travel. Like if I went to an area once by foot, yeah, sure, give me like a little fast travel point. But I shouldn't be able to start the game and just have all the fast travel points. I think that's a little ridiculous because it makes it so that there's no like in between story from going from point A to point B. There's no deviation, you know. Whenever you get like a quest or something like from the main story in Skyrim, it's like, and it tells you to go from point A to point B, and it's like when you're going there on foot or mount or whatever, there is at least 3, 4, 5 things that could happen to you on your way there, and those things add to the world and the atmosphere of, you know, Elder Scrolls. And I think the same thing happened with Fallout. When you're going from point A to point B, yes, there's like fast travel points, but you really need those little in-betweens to add depth to the world. You really do.
Wasting your time? No. Wasting my time? Yes. 2023? Bethesda released this in 2023. Oh no! Can you say leather jacket?
In other Bethesda games, you wanted to walk to your destination.
Yes.
Fast traveling meant you might miss out on some neat dungeon or cool, unique structure or wacky enemy along the way.
Not only is fast travel highly recommended whenever possible in Starfield, but it is straight up required.
You cannot fly your ship from planet to planet or even on a single planet. You can enter your
That's
ship
dumb.
with a nice loading screen and then sit in your pilot's chair with a nice unskippable animation and then take off with another nice loading screen and then pick your destination from space and fast travel there with another loading screen and then click on the planet to land with another loading screen. Or if your destination is in space, do another unskippable animation to dock your ship followed by another immediate loading screen. But hopefully if you've already discovered the specific location you want to go to, you can just fast travel straight there. The second I realized I was avoiding my ship whenever possible,
Jesus.
you know, the central core part of a space exploration game, it was over. The most heartbreaking part is that the shipbuilder is fucking amazing. It's like virtual Legos. It is
Yeah, it's not all doom and gloom with Starfield. I always heard from everybody that the shipbuilding was cool.
by far the best new thing Bethesda did with this game. But where do you get to fly your ship that you
Bro, imagine they have this in the next Skyrim, or god damn it, I keep saying Skyrim. The next Elder Scrolls, but it's with like a dragon or like maybe a blimp or something. I don't know. There was never any like the Elder Scrolls never really dipped into like the fantasy and then a little bit towards the future. Like maybe the first I don't know, photograph, you know, when it was all that like gunpowder and then it created like a big flash. Then there's a dude under the blanket and it's like, okay, stand still, ready, go. I don't know. I don't think I would want the next Elder Scrolls to dip into like the future tech. It would just take me out of it, I think. But I would want to figure out how to incorporate maybe like some sort of similar system, like the shipbuilding in the next, what do you call it? Elder Scrolls. I mean, they kind of had it with the house, but it wasn't really. There was that like house add-on DLC. It was kind of cool, but you know, after you like get everything, it's like you didn't really build the house. You just added on to the things that they pre-selected to be there.
just lovingly spent 3 hours making? In orbit! Yay!
Let's fucking go!
If you want to
Turn
see
on
your
that John
magnificent
Denver
creation actually move around and fast travel on up to space and float around fighting bad guys and running away from cops with the awful bounty system, which I will get to later.
Oh,
I
there's
will
a bounty
spend way
system.
Too much time talking about that later. What's
Bro, you can easily escape the police of Starfield. You just load screen into somewhere else, no?
really weird is that between the different elements you can mine on planets and the different things you can prioritize within the shipbuilder, there's enough breadcrumbs here to assume that at one point Starfield was probably more of a survival type space game, meaning that landing on a planet maybe served more of a purpose than just sort of wandering around.
Walking
aimlessly.
simulator.
Maybe the temperature changes in extreme conditions actually mattered more than they currently do, which is like not really at all. The shipbuilder even has options to upgrade.
Or maybe the initial version of Starfield was more like the hardcore version of, was it Fallout New Vegas? Because remember in the difficulty selector, I think of Fallout New Vegas, there was a difficulty selector where you could select like easy, medium, hard, and then hardcore, where like your food mattered, your what do you have, like some, like a drink meter, and you had like your rad meter. I mean, you had that in the base game that you had to keep down all the time. And you had like a couple other like just meters that you always had to keep up or down, but it was only in like the hardest version of the game.
Upgrade the fuel tanks or a grav drive so that you can jump further into a system. But if you don't upgrade those things, that's fine too. You'll just have to fast travel to a closer system first and then fast travel to the one you actually want to go to. So upgrading that stuff in your ship just saves you from seeing 2 loading screens, and now you only see 1.
Oh yay, less loading screens.
How is this game real?
Starfield has 1,000 planets, and I wish it had like 5.
Yeah, not every planet.
Yeah, because when you have less places to go for, or to go to as the player, that means as a developer, instead of having like a wide puddle, you have like a deep ocean. You have to make those areas matter, because you can slam more story, more backstory, more characters, more links to all the characters to each other in that smaller area. And that's what I've always preferred.
In real life space would have a bunch of cool stuff on it either.
Yeah, duh. But that's not my point.
My point is that this is not really a good illusion of anything other than the unfortunate passage of time. No Man's Sky can also have some boring-ass procedurally generated planets. But you know what? At least you can actually fly to them. Playing Starfield is like watching a magician pull a rabbit out of a hat, but every time he's about to do it, he's like, no, you gotta close your eyes while I do it though. But what about I'm not a Best Buy Geek Squad looking ass. Don't say I am.
Oh, you
Starfield
are.
may have been made with the shiny new Creation Engine 2, but
oh,
you ain't
it's a
fooling
2.
anyone with that 2, Todd. You may have slapped a spoiler on it, but it's still a fucking Geometra. I'm still editing an INI file.
I don't know why, but that was just really funny. I think I had a friend with one of those cars. Oh my god. I mean, Creation Engine 2, I mean, good. I mean, yeah, it's showing like some sort of progress, but in reality, it's probably on version like 900, like 63.333.295A, whatever.
Just to change the FOV or turn off mouse acceleration to make aiming feel better. I'm still clicking on doors and seeing that all too.
Why is the game have mouse acceleration in it? I literally just got done watching a video showing like why Modern Warfare 3 aim was so bad, and there was 2 levels of reticle acceleration in it to add on top of just your base mouse. And like, you already, like, if you don't fuck with the like the mouse settings on your computer, like the advanced settings, I think I remember turning mine off, but if you don't mess with that, your base mouse has reticle acceleration. And if you want to like have like some consistent aim in shooters, you need to turn that shit off, dude. And if your computer has reticle acceleration, and then the game has strafe acceleration to where it moves the reticle even more, and then you have aim acceleration to move the reticle even more, it's like there's so many layers of acceleration. It's like no wonder people are just getting away from M&K aiming. Like, it's so complicated, needlessly complicated.
Familiar fade out loading screen all the time.
Why did you not optimize this game for PC?
Oh god, I forgot about this interview. Oh Jesus.
We did. It's running great. It is a next-gen PC game. We really do push the technology, so you may need to upgrade your PC for this game, but it's got a lot of great stuff going on in it, and the fans are responding awesome.
All right, Todd, I upgraded my PC,
oh,
but
Jesus.
I still can't turn on HDR or even mess with the brightness settings, even though the Xbox...
Bro, it's like any type of Bethesda game is automatically catered to like an older person. and I'm included, to even have a sense of like what are like any of these settings are. Like, you're not gonna tell like a 12-year-old to upgrade their console because they have no concept that they can. But what you can do is, you know, you can tell like an older person to upgrade their PC, and they will know what you mean. But there's only, I'm just ranting. Go.
Xbox version already has HDR, and to get a decent frame rate I have to use upscaling, but I have an NVIDIA card and you only have FSR supported with no DLSS. Oh, someone already modded DLSS into the game within like a couple days. Oh, programmers are making comprehensive breakdowns on Reddit detailing just how poorly optimized the game is.
Nah, if Todd said it's optimized, then it's probably optimized. I believe him. I will follow my Nord brother into the pearly gates of Sovngarde and finally graze my hand upon that holy leather.
Breaking news, as of November 15th, Bethesda is finally patching Starfield, adding an FOV slider, poorly implemented HDR, and much needed DLSS support, along with clear massive performance gains for both CPU and GPU areas. It's almost as if the game did in fact launch very unoptimized. The timing couldn't be better, 2 months after everyone already stopped playing it.
This game hurts.
Oh, that patch came out 2 months after everyone stopped playing? Like 2 months later? Oof. Yeah, that's too slow, man. Like, I mean, it's good that they did it, but I don't know. I think he just didn't do it quick enough, dude. Like, maybe if you got it out in a month, you could have saved it, but damn. Like, you're never going to get more players than on, like, your day 1/week 1 release of the game. Or, like, maybe the first month. You know, it spikes up, and then it's nothing but downhill. It's never going to be the same number as that tippy top. And what you want to do is you want to retain that crowd as much as humanly possible. And I don't know, I think 2 months is like just a month too long.
Stupid giant head. I can't understand it. I can't seem to do anything right after experiencing this so-called
It was a good try, though.
Oh my god, I didn't even bring that up yet. God damn it.
In Starfield, you can
forgot
build
about the
settlements, and you
outposts.
have more freedom than ever with the builder, but there's not a whole lot of motivators to interact with it other than harvesting resources from a planet largely void of life. Add that to the super confusing structure of actually trying to connect your settlements across star systems and all the fast travel screens in between, and your ship cargo and your inventory, and getting over encumbered, and ugh. In Fallout 4,
You
it
can
wasn't
get
fun
over
because the
encumbered?
builder
I know that's a thing in most of the Fallout or most of the Bethesda games, but bro, it's like the space game. How are you gonna get over encumbered in the space game? But like the gravity is too much on this planet, but not enough on the next planet. I don't know how they did that.
was good. Hell no. It's janky as hell and super frustrating. But it was fun because you were bringing life back into the apocalypse and building off of really cool existing unique structures so that the dumbass settlers could take back the land. But all of that was powered by the initial core desire of actually wanting to go out and explore and shoot stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right. You shoot guns in this game. Starfield also has guns.
Yeah. Don't they only have like 4 or 5 guns and everything else is just a copy paste of it? That's what I heard, dude.
Starfield has perks just like Fallout 4, and one of those
cool.
perks is called Rapid Reload, and it does exactly what you think it would do. It makes your reloads faster.
At least that's what it should do.
I'm a gamer. I like going fast.
Yeah.
Throw it on, Todd. Send me the bill. It's on the house.
Days later, I'm playing the game and I throw my last grenade. I reload my gun, and it's way faster than usual. What's going on here? Come to find out, that perk hasn't worked the entire time I've had it, because evidently, if I have any sort of throwable equipped rapid reload, it just doesn't work. I thought maybe I was alone, but nope. I looked it up, and apparently it's a common bug that, at least as of November 15th, still persists. Also, you know that text that appears at the top of the screen in Bethesda games when you're doing stealth?
Bro, November 15th. It's 12:11 right now. What the fuck?
Says hidden. Not only does this 2023 game use the same bare-bones stealth mechanics that are like 20 years old at this point, seeing that text up top, that's a perk now. And you can spend another whole ass perk point, and I quote, to upgrade the stealth meter, which
they've always had this like 4-layered tier system for, I don't know, their perks or whatever, and it's like, it's about the same. You crouch, you have your invisible radius that pops up, and depending on the lighting or whatever, or like how much line of sight there is, your little meter will go up or down. And I guess it's just it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Shows you if you're being close to being detected, which is basically exactly what the eye reticle thing already did in Skyrim.
Well, this is way better and worth spending the point, trust me.
The gunplay in Starfield is an improvement over Fallout 4, but that's like saying a bicycle is an improvement over a Razor scooter. It's still not an AK-47. The guns generally work a bit better with less delay. You're a bit more agile. You have a jetpack, which sometimes that can be fun. But as a shooter, in 2023, this game is still getting lapped by games from 2012. Hell, games from 2007. 2004. I'm serious. Sit down, play Starfield for an hour, and then go boot up Far Cry 3 or BioShock or Call of Duty 4 or any game in the orange box, and then go back to Starfield and tell me how it feels.
Bro, if you're gonna make an FPS, you had like the gunplay has to be good, man. Like there's no getting around it. Like you can tiptoe around it, but you're not gonna fool anybody because I don't know, like in the Fallout games, the gunplay never just felt good. It was always like too static. It was too robotic. I don't know. It never felt good.
Especially on controller, it just feels wrong. Fallout 4's shooting was barely serviceable only because of everything that surrounded it. It worked good enough because you got to explore a cool map and frequently fight cool, varied enemies using VATS. In Starfield, the cool map is gone. The enemies are sometimes varied, but it is predominantly brain-dead humanoid space pirates that will just stand there and let you shoot them. And VATS doesn't exist anymore, so the act of shooting someone needed to feel really, really good.
That's a bullet sponge.
Still clunky melee combat, the super unintuitive UI of menus inside of menus,
fuck was that?
D-pad weapon swapping from Fallout 4 because apparently having a weapon wheel might make the creation engine explode. And what you have is a worse version.
Oh my, was this the actual like this? It has to be. Bro, this is like does nobody play any FPS over at Bethesda to have the numbers just like fucking up your visual like this? Like this isn't World of Warcraft where you play like a frost mage and you just Nova everything and you just blink away and you cast Blizzard and then the screen explodes. Right? That's cool for MMOs. But for FPSs, you don't want that. Why are these numbers just like being like, it's like I hit a goddamn pinata and numbers fell out. Like, what is this? This is so bad. I can't imagine a worse setup than this. Like the numbers just like
of something that you have already played
8 years ago. All right, so what about quests? Bethesda has always been so strongly associated with NPCs and quests.
Here's an example of the most common basic ass type of quest in Skyrim. Hey, can you go to this dungeon and kill a bad guy?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm even just gonna walk over there because it's not that far. Whoa.
Yeah.
What's this? A dragon in this economy? Well, I mean, I'm here. I may as well ladder stall tomahawk the dragon real quick.
Yeah.
All right, that's done. What was I doing? Oh, right.
Dungeon.
Oh, well, hold on a second. There's a cave right here.
Oh, I could go in the cave.
I mean, I'm here.
I might as well.
Minutes later.
All right, that was a pretty cool cave, and I feel like I got some cool shit out of that. Anyways, dungeon. All right, let me just stealth archer these freaks real quick.
Yep.
Get some loot. Okay.
There it is. What did I tell you about the coins? What did I tell you about the coins?
Dungeon. All right, let me just stealth archer these freaks real quick. Get some loot.
Right there. Culprit number, wanted poster number 1. When you play Bethesda games, this is everywhere. All right? It's a coin purse and you're not only taking the coin purse, and Naked Jakey is on like M&K right here. And M&K is like more precise, but when you're on a controller, you are standing there and trying to pick up every single coin. Literally, right here. You are looking at all the bookshelves, all the desks, so on. So you're looking on the ground, like, oh, there's a coin purse on the ground. There's like 15 coins. I better pick them all up. I'm probably going to need all these later. And meanwhile, you wasted like 2 or 3 minutes picking up all those stupid coins when you probably could have just picked up these boots that are worth more and just dip out. No, you're not. You're going to pick up all the coins.
Ooh, okay. I'm done. That was a pretty enjoyable, fun hour of gameplay I just got to experience. Here's an example of the most common basic-ass type of quest in Starfield. Hey, we lost our scientist friends. Can you go find him? We don't know where he is because we don't have any walkie-talkies or email or texting or cell phones in this planet, in this world.
It is weird.
Yeah, sure, I guess. All right. Damn. He's kind of out there. Whatever.
Kind of far.
I'm sure some cool stuff will happen along the way.
5 minutes later.
Man, I sure am getting pretty good at sprinting and jetpacking, and you know, I bet the cave will have like a cool monster in it or something.
Yeah, and that's just the thing. It's like when you go to Skyrim, it's like the game wanted you to get sidetracked, but getting sidetracked in Skyrim is way different than getting sidetracked. Well, not even getting sidetracked in Starfield. How do they sidetrack you in Starfield? With loading screens. How do they sidetrack you in Skyrim? With just other shit to do in the game. Side quests, dungeons, caves, random ass dragons that just flew over you so you can collect some dragon points. Yeah, that's cool. I am okay with getting sidetracked by that shit. I'm not okay by getting sidetracked by stupid shit like just walking from point A to point B and nothing happening.
And once I get there, oh, it's literally just you. And now I have to take you back with me? Well, okay, apparently I can just fast travel back, but I don't take you with me.
What?
So I just went to tell you that your friends are looking for you, and now you're finding your own way back and going back. So why the hell did I even need to come find you in the first place?
What the hell even is this game, dude?
I shit you not.
Oh, that's dumb.
This type of quest pops up all the time. And even if it is an Operation Go Rescue Baby Scientist, it is something similarly mindless and uninspired.
Oh,
a lot
Jesus.
of quests in Starfield just play out as a game of fast travel telephone, where you talk to one person and they're like, hey, go tell this person in another galaxy that I said this.
Yeah, you could easily solve that with like a space telephone. You'd think with all the like planets and technology that they have, they would figure out something to communicate with people intergalactically. You'd think.
Like, okay, and you go through several fast travel loading screens and land at a place and go through another loading screen and then walk through a city and get to another place to talk to them. And then you finally talk to the person and they're like, well, tell them that I said this. And so you do all of that again and you go through all the fast travel loading screens and the loading screens and the entry building loading screens, and you're like, all right, well, they said this. And it's like, is this what we're doing now?
This
like,
is
if
so,
I'm like
that's
8
so
years
dumb.
old
I
and
swear
you
to God,
told me-
if they do that in the next Elder Scrolls, I'm writing an angry note. I'm writing an angry review. I am just not having that. Go tell the king this. Go tell the Jarl that. Go tell the prince this. Go tell the princess that. No. Go send an owl or something. Go send a bird. They had that shit back in the day. I watched Harry Potter. All right? No. I'm not your little mail boy.
Like, take all the graphics and stuff away that like, hey, this is what video games are gonna be like. I'd be like, what the fuck? And this game is not a super in-depth choice, complex, branching, narrative, rich dialogue CRPG. Like, I don't expect that from Bethesda, and that's fine, I never have. But if you're not that, and you're also not successfully doing the thing that largely defines your games, aka satisfying and rewarding open world exploration, then what the hell even are you? Like, I don't know what genre I would even call this game. Oh no, I'm being...
Space walking simulator / shipbuilder / loading screen enjoyer simulator. Period.
Hold up, we're gonna collect on a bounty. Oh man, we're gonna talk about the bounty in a bit. That's really funny timing. All right, well, Sorry, gaming. Before the game came out, Phil Spencer, Xbox guy, said something along the lines of, I don't remember exactly, but it was like, I played it so many hours, whatever. I'm going full space pirate.
And I got excited when I heard this because I love game systems that let you f around and find out.
I'm sure some of you remember how I obsessed over the wanted bounty system in Red Dead 2 because...
Oh my God, 4 years ago. Oh, you can't see. Wait, where'd it go? Right there. 4 years ago. Nakey Jakey was on the ball 4 years ago. That's crazy, dude.
I just love pushing things and trying to understand how they mechanically work.
I think I could confidently say that the wanted bounty system in Starfield is far worse than in Red Dead 2.
Being an evil space pirate in Starfield is so strongly discouraged that it is borderline impossible. There's a quest that you could find early on, but the first time you get arrested, you get taken to this ship and this cop, lieutenant guy, whatever, I don't remember his name. Hey, we don't actually want to throw you in jail, but we want you to be an informant in the space pirate fleet. Departed style, you fucking rat. And while conversing with this guy, at one point I saw the dialogue option that was essentially, F you, I'm fighting my way off this ship.
So obviously I quick saved and then immediately did that.
It was a total bloodbath. Like, I killed so many dudes and I racked up such a high bounty, but I noticed that a lot of the named NPCs wouldn't actually die when I shot them, which was a bit concerning.
They're just down.
I just kept on fighting. And eventually I fought my way all the way into the cockpit, and there was a second where I was like, oh shit, am I about to hijack this police ship and get the fuck out of here? Nope.
Oh, what?
Can't fly this ship. And before people go in the comments and say, oh, it's because you got to upgrade your pilot license thing. Nope. You still can't fly it. You can't fly this ship, or a whole lot of other ships for that matter, no matter what. Just like you can't kill a lot of NPCs, no matter what, because Bethesda wants you to keep space their way.
This ship bullship isn't exclusive to just that quest either.
If you played the game, you know that a lot of the times when you land on a planet, another ship will coincidentally land around the same time, and you can see them and run over there and fight them. And you would assume, I just killed all these pirates.
I cannot get over, like, what the fuck was this? The horrible visual clutter.
Isn't exclusive to just that quest either.
If you've played the game, you know that a lot of the times when you land on a planet, another ship will coincidentally land around the same time, and you can see them and run over there and fight them. And you would assume...
Bro, what is happening? You have blur just on entirely of your screen. You got your stupid red reticle that is offset inside your box, so there is some form of like strafe reticle, you know, disorientation or whatever. So that's a thing. Plus you got all this blur. Plus you got all the shit that they're shooting at you. Plus you got all these numbers just flying around. Like, the enemies have to be huge as fuck, so you just literally cannot miss. Like, does anybody play a shooting game at Bethesda? This is stupid. I can't believe this. This is like the worst version of an FPS. This is all the worst aspects. It's like they looked at all the good FPSs and they decided, let's do all the opposite things and just justify it for immersion. Oh my God, dude.
I just killed all these pirates. All right, logical next step, loot the ship, take the ship. But a lot of the time, not every time, but a lot of the time, at least for me, it just wouldn't let me. Most of the time, I just saw this prompt and I didn't know
Inaccessible.
Why. That bounty I mentioned during the shootout with the space cops.
Oh, the bounty. Let's get to the bounty.
To quickly rack up a very high bounty in this game. And whenever you...
Yeah, there was always a bounty system in the Fallouts and the Elder Scrolls. So why wouldn't they have one in here?
Travel to a planet.
Maybe it's really shitty though.
They do a forced contraband scan on your ship before you can land.
Do I even like video games anymore?
They also check to see if you have a bounty in that star system. Contraband can be hidden to help avoid detection.
Yeah, kind of similar to how you had a bounty in each city.
Detection on the scan, but it requires having hidden cargo space on your ship.
Why am I here? Why am I doing any of this?
Normal items that you can pickpocket or steal aren't marked as contraband, but they are marked as stolen items, and they have this little red icon, but contraband contraband items always have this orange icon because it means they're extra elite.
But that is yellow.
Help me.
So let's start here. Say you want to be a grimy...
Stolen is red and contraband is yellow?
Little space thief, so you're constantly pickpocketing and stealing stuff wherever you go. In typical...
It is like, what is the point of having all of this shit if they're just going to take it back? And there's so many points of breaking throughout like your travels.
Bethesda fashion. A lot of the time, if you're sneaking and stealing, you won't.
This goes like, oh my god, I fucking watched a video on this. It's like, it's so hard, if not like terrible feeling, to try to do like a bad playthrough of a game, even though you can kind of have that option in like the, I guess, the space pirate thing. It's like, well, most gamers on their first playthrough of the game do the good path, so why would the developers invest anything in the bad side of your first playthrough? It's like, that's so stupid for you to not have like a fun evil side first playthrough. That's so dumb. Like, you're just gonna neglect seemingly half of the game just because you statistically think that most players are just gonna do the good thing first. I mean, that's fine and understandable, but I don't know, it just feels bad.
Won't get caught stealing. Hope you spent the perk point on the stealth thing, but
yeah, if there's so many speed bumps to being bad, then you're just gonna further pigeonhole most players into not doing bad things in the game. And when you're only walking around doing good things, are you really making a meaningful choice?
Oops, sometimes you just do get detected, even if no one is around to witness you murder that person except that person, or no one is around to witness you steal that cup except that cup. Suddenly everyone in the galaxy knows that it was specifically you that stole that cup, even though apparently cell phones or email or fax machines or texting don't exist based on the context of most of our fucking quest objectives.
Yeah, that's dumb.
I don't want to do this anymore. Please let me go.
So now you have a bounty in that star system, and then you're like, well, if I already have the bounty, then I guess I'll just keep doing it. And if anyone gets in my way, I'll shoot him, because I'm a freak. That's my identity now. I'm a freak. I wasn't born this way, but I was molded by Todd and his leather.
Yeah.
So you're traveling around, stealing stuff from all these planets, trying to have a grand old time, and your bounty is getting pretty stacked. But oh shit, there's a main story mission in a city that you haven't been to yet, in a star system that you have that giant bounty in. You get scanned, the cops are pissed. You can choose to fight them off and grav drive fast travel away, but if you want to ever enter that city, you're gonna have to do something about that bounty. So you warp back, and this time you're like, all right, well, I can't pay the bounty because it's insane, so I guess take me to jail. And when you go to jail in this game, the cops will not only remove every single item from your inventory that was ever stolen, which slowly lists away at the top of the screen.
That's
one
so
by
dumb.
one, which this is never.
I mean, they did that in Skyrim and Oblivion too, but there was always like a random ass chest that you could just take all your shit back on.
Explained in the game as like some lore accurate space technology that tracks ownership. It's just magic where a cop 4 planets away knows that you stole this specific pen. But your punishment for jail time is an XP debt. It will never lower your current level, but it will erase any current XP progress that you've made towards leveling up. And
bro, if there was any chance of me playing Starfield in the future, it has literally went to this right now. Fuck that stupid. This is an artificial. There's no reason to have this. Fuck that stupid artificial lengthening of game time bullshit. Oh, you went to jail. You did the bad thing. Even though in the game we let you have a choice to be the bad guy. You lose progress in the game when you go to jail. On top of being in jail and on top of having all your shit removed. Now we're going to fuck your level. Bro, this is a deliberate waste of the player's time. Fuck this game, dude.
Potentially,
I don't even want to play it.
The negative as well, if it's high enough.
Which it will be.
This is kind of like how jail time in Oblivion could randomly lower some of your skills. Starfield says, hey, we know we can't actually force the player to sit in a jail cell, but we want there to be some sort of consequence for it being bad. And part of me is like, damn,
that's stupid.
Actually kind of interesting and creative. Except leveling up takes a long ass time in this game. For example, to level from level 10 to level 11, it's around 900 XP, and it only gets exponentially more grindy the higher you get. So if you have a high bounty, which is not hard to get, you will be in this much debt.
What?
Have fun crawling out of that hole, you filthy little pirate bitch.
You can potentially just brick your character for being too bad. Why even have the option to be bad? Like, to begin with, just be like, fuck it, you can't be bad, it's illegal, and apparently it is. This is so stupid. Oh my god, I can't imagine them doing this in the next Elder Scrolls, dude. I swear to god, dude, if they fucking ruin that goddamn game, Oh my god. This is not looking good, boys. It's not.
It's also worth noting that much like a lot of stuff in this game, this mechanic is barely explained at all, and the only way to realize that you are in XP debt or track it is to look at the status screen.
I understand having some sort
Jesus.
of punishment for doing something bad and getting caught.
No.
I really do.
But when leveling
No.
is this grindy,
No, if you want to be, if this game wants to market itself as having some sort of morality system of you could do the good guy thing or the bad guy thing, but you're only going to get punished for doing bad things, well then no, fuck that. You're literally like purposely making it seem like half of your game is like you can't do it. It's just too many speed bumps, too many blockades to do the bad guy. And so it's like, oh, I can't be the bad guy. I'm just going to be the good guy. That's so stupid.
and the perks you get from leveling up don't actually work or just straight up aren't worth it, and the game requires you to be scanned in order to land on certain planets because you can't actually just fucking fly the ship to the planet in this goddamn
clown game, dude.
Being punished this harshly for choosing a playstyle that is supposed to be viable in this so-called RPG is just super disappointing.
You know, I actually wonder, you know, when Phil Spencer said he said I want to be a space pirate, you know, perceivably the bad guy. I wonder if he actually followed through with that. I wonder what his personal experience of that was. Maybe he did like a playthrough of the space pirate and tried to be the bad guy, but then he just went so far into debt and he bricked his character and he's just like, well, fuck this, I'm just gonna do the good guy path. I wonder if that's what actually happened. I doubt he would ever come clean and say like if that's like what he actually happened.
Starfield would be a disappointment regardless of whatever year it came out, but unfortunately for Bethesda, 2023 was obscenely stacked with fantastic games in each of those specific genres that Starfield takes turns cosplaying as.
It is an open world exploration game with little to no actual meaningful exploration.
Oh yeah.
It's a glorified looter shooter that is still catching up to games that are now old enough to be in high school. And it is a
when you straight up compare what the fuck was that called? God dang it. The underwater game. When you compare that game to this, it's like that game had better gunplay, like a bar none. And that's like being generous and not even comparing it to like any of the movement shooters like Doom or Quake or Diabolical or even Apex or Counter-Strike or Valorant. Like any of the like modern day shooters. Like Jesus.
A role-playing game with so few meaningful roles to actually play and relationships to engage with.
I really want to like this game. I am always going to cheer for Todd and Bethesda because they have given me so many amazing, memorable experiences for the past 20 years that have largely influenced my love for gaming.
Oh yeah. Nobody wants Todd and the boys to fail. Nobody wants a bad game. We want good games. But if we play the game and say it's bad, that's on you.
I want the next Elder Scrolls game to...
But I don't know, maybe rethinking that, it's like because if you played a lot of the old Bethesda games and you got a lot of joy out of it, and you still continue to play games, like I don't think you're gonna get the same experience, even if you. I don't know. I just don't think you can like recapture that open world exploration. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. I maybe the cards are a little too stacked against Bethesda.
To knock it out of the park. I will always root for anyone trying to make an ambitious video game.
But after seeing what Bethesda has put out over the last decade, I just couldn't contain these thoughts and feelings any longer.
I hope this video was at least kind of interesting, or at the very least digestible in a way that sort of made sense, even though I feel like I should be in the psych ward. If you can still see me right now, thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you next time. This is actually my off-road ball because when I was filming the campfire scenes, my dumbass didn't realize that a yoga ball that I've been using for like 6 years shouldn't go out in the woods where there's like prickly goat head things, and I popped a bunch of holes in it. But fortunately, my sister, the same one that I stole the original yoga ball from, had another gray yoga ball. That's like got a bunch of ribs on it. So this my off-road ball. Also, I only realized recently that there's like no aliens in Starfield, like big-eyed gray fuckers from Signs. Not a
Jesus, is that actually true? There's just humans that just run around in space, but there's no aliens. Maybe they're not alien enjoyers, dude.
single one.
Yo, what's going on, guys?
Okay. Bro, where'd the fucking video go? Back. Bro, this was a goated ass video to do a little retrospection on Bethesda and Friends. And man, I mean, you're right about most of the shit you were talking about, dude. I got my fingers crossed. I got all the fingers crossed. I got my body crossed for the next installment of Elder Scrolls, dude. I am hoping to God, if they do follow through with that procedural generation shit for dungeons and whatnot, like, please make it better and not so barren that the planets were. Oh, Jesus. Whatever, dude. Okay, go to this video as always, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.